This podcast is part of the Batman Universe Podcast Network, hosted by the BatmanUniverse.net. Check out everything related to Batman and the entire Bat family at the BatmanUniverse.net, including news and original content related to comics, movies, television, merchandise, video games, and more. Also, check out some of the other unique podcasts that TBU has to offer. Consider supporting this podcast by becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 can go a long way in supporting this content that you enjoy. Look for a link over at the BatmanUniverse.net to offer your support now. And now, on with the show.
Scarecrows frightened of the clouds, laughing boys. I am a Batman. I am a Batman. Shine and signal, come out to play. I am a Batman. I am a Batman. Bring it on, Batman. Jump out your cave, 'cause I am a Batman. I am a Batman. Shine that signal, come out and play. I am a Batman.
Hey everybody, this is at TBU311. My name is Dane, and with me, as always, is the at TBU311 on Twitter, and on Instagram, and on Facebook.
I don't think you have those Twitter or like those handles on Facebook.
yeah,
It's just your regular
yeah.
name. So. No, at
It's not a-
TimG311 there.
Yeah. Skype? No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
don't
I think
think-
that's
Yeah.
it's like Tim.Gerasi or something like that. I didn't put the 3
No.
for that one. I probably should change it though.
Oh, well, anyway. Yeah, Tim is here. Tim-
I'm barely here, right?
Yeah, you're barely here. After your internet problems, plural, started from last night. So, about an hour ago, when I guess your internet went down again, or it went on, then went back down. Or,
It was like it went down last night, went back up early this morning, except everywhere in my room. So and it had to do with my switch box, like a port in my switch box with all the Ethernet cables. The main one that's connected to the port in the wall went out, so I had to switch that, go through this spaghetti layers of wires and cables in my room with all my systems, computers, TV, and all that stuff. Full of dust since I've been slacking and not cleaning this area as much as I should. So yeah, it was a fun last hour just trying to get my internet back up. So, but it's up and we're still able to record. That's the important thing.
yeah, that's the main thing. But you know what? Let's just get to our commentary because there's a lot to talk about
Yes, there is.
in this episode. So, as always, grab your DVD, grab your Blu-ray, grab your HD DVD, grab your Beta, your VHS, your projector, Laserdisc. Did I say that one already?
I don't think you
did.
mentioned that one.
Okay, Laserdisc, grab your Blockbuster rental subscription card copy, grab your Netflix physical subscription copy that you got in that red envelope in the mail. Grab your DVHS, and as always, Tim, our favorite media format, the way that Peter Jackson wanted us to see Lord of the Rings. It's our VHS to DVD converted copy. And
That's
for this
right.
episode, we're going from minute 16, I think, right, Tim?
Yes, that is right.
To minute 17. So, Tim, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, hit play.
As we see the wonderful reunion between Gandalf and Bilbo. And where Bilbo hasn't aged a day. Can't remember when the last time Gandalf saw Bilbo before seeing him here. Because obviously he had to see him again after the events of The Hobbit, because he's definitely aged since The Hobbit.
The
does.
Hobbit.
yeah.
Yeah. like 30 years.
Be longer than that, but and the great use of editing and techniques as far as making Bilbo seem smaller than Gandalf on the different sets they had to build for the inside of the house.
Yeah. When Bilbo grabs the staff,
Yeah.
it's like a beer.
Yeah, all that behind the scenes stuff was just like great to see. Like just the lengths they went to make sure they got everything right.
Yeah.
Just for these small sequences right here. That's
All
it.
right, and that's it. That's our minute by minute commentary.
A minute spent in the home of Bilbo.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they did that thing where it's like Ian McKellen is super big and he's clearly in a big room.
Mm.
I mean, a small room and he's normal size, whereas Bilbo is smaller.
Yeah, I know they had to film it kind of both of them in separate sets. Like where they made a big one for Ian McKellen to film in, and then one for Ian Holm to film in, and then kind of splicing it together.
Oh, so it's
like
two different.
I believe so. Yeah, I know they had like a big section of that in the appendices documentary that they have on the DVDs. That kind of shows. I think Peter Jackson going from different set to set.
Oh, really? And then they just splice them together?
Portions of it, yeah. I know sometimes there was a few shots where they were filming on the same set, but they were positioned differently, so it looks like Gandalf was taller than Bilbo. So they use a bunch of different techniques to have come across that Gandalf was much taller than Bilbo.
Oh, I see.
And it's pretty seamless in my book when you watch the movie.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how they did that staff thing, like how Ian McKellen passes it to Bilbo, and then it's bigger.
This could have been where they used the stand-ins where these little people for the hobbits, maybe for that shot, and then to have it, but then you film it again with yeah. We're gonna have to dive back in just to that section of the documentary just to find out exactly. Because I know it's on there.
So yeah, that's our minute by minute commentary, and now we can move on to the long-awaited featured topic. I know you didn't write anything down, Tim, on our show notes, but and I know you were completely out of ideas because you didn't see anything. But I think we should talk about the new Batman trailer.
That's right. That's what I should have wrote down.
Yeah, I know you didn't have any ideas or anything.
I was racking my brain. What can we talk about on this episode? What then anything happened the last 2 weeks? I couldn't think of any, but thank you for reminding me, Dane.
Yeah, you're welcome. Tim. You're welcome. I'm always here for you.
Thank you. Yes. Of course, what else could it be than the Batman trailer and just the DC FanDome event in general, the second year we had it. And just like last year, it was a lot of fun. I liked how, just real quick before we get to the trailer, just how this event was a little different from last year. I did like how it was definitely a shorter version. It was just about 4 hours, maybe a little less, than instead of being a whole day event like it was last year. And it definitely flowed better, but I actually think they could really make it a shorter event. Like just have it 2 hours where you're showcasing all the big stuff, the big trailers for the movies, TV shows, and maybe a few comic announcements, because there still were some filler moments in there where it's like kind of saying like, all right, let's get through this portion of the show and get to the main stuff. But overall, I did like how it was one that was more condensed, and I think they could probably even make it better for next year, because I think it's here to stay. It's proven to be a big success. I believe this one had even more viewers, double or triple the viewers it had last year. So it was definitely a success. So that's good. And I just like how we're getting this type of events and reveals and trailers and stuff online now, so we could all see instead of it used to be a Comic-Con. While I know how awesome it was for everyone who got to go to Comic-Con and experience, but when it was exclusive to there and everyone who couldn't go wasn't able to see it, it wasn't quite as fun. But now we all get to enjoy it together. So that's what makes it great.
So it kind of sounds like I wasn't watching the DC FanDome, but I did catch the Hasbro PulseCon.
Okay.
And it's like yeah, I mean they were talking about all of their lines, right? The G.I. Joe and the Power Rangers, and of course Star Wars, Transformers also. But there was these moments like with the two hosts where it's like, okay, let's move it along. Let's get to the Power Rangers, and then let's get to the Transformers, and then finally, okay, finally it's the Star Wars part. And they kind of pepper in like these performances by
Yeah, it's like
DMC and Weezer. It's like, okay, let's get through this. Let's get through this.
Weezer performed there.
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't from home
Okay, it was one of
or
those
like a
live
studio.
stream type things.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's like, that doesn't really work. But at least they're trying, I guess.
Yeah, I just wonder when it's going to come to the point. So whoever's in charge of producing the show and creating the event and like scheduling everything, like when are they going to realize that the majority of people watching are just there for the reveals and trailers and all that stuff, where they feel the need to have to entertain the viewers
Yeah,
before you see the main stuff? It's like you don't have to, because a lot of it just comes off as forced, especially in the DC fandom one this year. There's a lot of forced attempts at humor and jokes that are just like, yeah,
yeah.
we don't
Interesting
necessarily
part.
need this. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they ever do that at like a Star Wars celebration where it's like, okay, we're gonna show you the Force Awakens trailer, but before we do that, we're gonna do a game, and then we're gonna have a performance by a Star Wars cover band. And then we're gonna,
Never had a Star Wars
uh,
cover band, but well, that was kind of the celebration streams were kind of good because obviously they had their own sections outside of the convention where it was the two hosts having different
yeah,
guests and different type of stuff like that. But whenever it's for the big stuff, they just go straight to the panel, so you're watching the panel live as it happened. And obviously, that's when the trailers were shown. So it wasn't like
yeah.
something
Oh,
where the
okay.
show had to make you wait for the trailer with some filler content. You're just watching
Yeah.
as the panel went.
Oh, that's good. That's good because it's like let's just get the trailers and when the movie's coming out. You know, here's the toy line, and here is the book line, and this is when you can buy it. You know?
Yeah, just get all the points you need to get across to get everyone hyped up and
and then
excited.
and then we can watch Weezer.
Yeah. They could close it out. Yes,
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
yeah.
All right, so where do you want to begin, Dane? Should we start big with the Batman? Should we save that for last, or how do you think we should go?
We should save that for last.
Okay,
Let's start with the I
start
don't
with
know, Black Adam.
yeah, let's start with kind of the smaller stuff that they showed
Yeah,
there for the movie. So Black Adam was the first one that kicked off the event as far as the movie stuff was going to go, and I was expecting to get maybe like a little sizzle reel or like a teaser trailer because I believe they wrapped up filming, and even if they haven't, they probably shot a lot of it. And just going off of how little they filmed of the Batman last year, and they had enough great footage to make a really awesome trailer. I was kind of hoping that'd be the case for all the other movies shown here because I think most of the movies that were shown here that were in production or just ended production had a lot more film than what the Batman had filmed last year. They were able to put together a full blown trailer. But that wasn't the case for this, which was a little disappointing. But with Black Adam, we got kind of a behind the scenes sizzle reel talking to some of the cast members, more cool concept art of Black Adam, the Justice Society. That was cool, but it was nice that we did get a little footage and how I believe Dwayne Johnson said it was maybe not the opening sequence. It could be, but one of the earlier parts of the movie where Black Adam gets revealed for the first time. And gotta say, it was a pretty awesome live action debut for the character. And just kind of setting the tone for what this movie is going to be, just how powerful he is as he gets awoken by these, I don't know, explorers or mercenaries types. One of them says Shazam, and he appears, and he just right away displays his powers, catching the bullet, grabbing someone by the neck, and just melting him from bone to ash with his power. So, yeah, Dwayne the Rock Johnson keeps hyping up how the hierarchy of power is about to change in the DC universe, and we got an early taste of that in this first look at Black Adam. So it looked really cool, and I just can't wait to see more of it when we actually see him and the Justice Society and what the rest of the movie is going to be. But it was a pretty cool first look for the character in his first movie.
Yeah, somebody that doesn't know anything about Black Adam or Shazam, it looked really good. Um, it's I don't know. I just don't know about the CGI rock. I guess you would say. because
You know, there's going to be a few CGI rocks moments in
yeah,
this movie.
yeah, because when he looks at the camera, kind of when he has that hood up,
Uh-huh.
that looked like a little too CGI PS5 graphics for me.
Well, at least it's a step up from the PS1 graphic CGI from the Scorpion King and the Mummy 2.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Commonly, I think it's universally referred to as like the worst CG
CGI.
effect character
Yeah,
ever. It's pretty funny to look back and watch that to see how awful
yeah.
it is.
Or maybe I should ask, what's worse, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson in Scorpion King, or Mummy 2, or is it Henry Cavill in Justice League?
Well, at least with Henry Cavill, it's just a portion of his face with the mustache, where The Rock is just everything about it is just awful
Yeah,
as a CG character.
PS1 graphics.
Maybe even worse than that. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at that.
Yeah, it might be Sega Saturn.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the look we got at Black Adam. And then I think the next one we got was Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now this one there was no footage; it was just a behind-the-scenes sizzle reel, and giving us a look at the locations that we're going to be going to in the movie. They said it's going to be another kind of globe-trotting adventure for Aquaman, and they didn't say it, but you could just tell by from some of the shots that we're seeing in this behind-the-scenes footage that it looks like Aquaman is going to be teaming up with his brother Orm, aka Ocean Master, in this one. As you see him kind of running together in certain locations, just walking around in certain locations. So it looks like they're going to come to an unlikely truce or just somewhat hold their grudge for whatever the main threat is in this movie. But the big takeaway, I mean, all the sets and locations look cool. There's more great concept art of some of the creatures we're going to see in here. Aquaman looks like he's going to be riding a seahorse. So I'm sure Jason Momoa is going to make that look awesome, just like he did with those moments in the first Aquaman movie, where when you would see in old comics or old Aquaman appearances on the Super Friends show where he's riding a seahorse, it's how ridiculous it looks. I think Jason Momoa is going to change that in this, but that should be awesome to see. But without a doubt, the coolest thing about this footage is seeing more Black Manta in it, and just how his costume is even more cooler than it was in the first movie. Because I thought in the first Aquaman they did a good job of translating his iconic costume from comic to screen, but now they're just going all in for it to be an exact translation and replica of his costume to how we see it in the comics. A lot more streamlined. It just looks straight out of the page, and it just looks really, really cool. So that was definitely the most exciting part of the footage they showed from Aquaman. It's just how more amazing Black Manta looks in this movie. I'm excited to see more of him in the sequel. But that was about it for that one. Not too much on story details. They're just saying how, like I said, it's going to be a globe-trotting adventure, and just giving us some concept art and behind-the-scenes footage for Aquaman. So hopefully, once we get an actual trailer, it'll look as cool as kind of they're hyping up in this behind-the-scenes footage here.
I'm okay.
I kind of figured you would be.
I think I'm waiting for the streaming, or when it comes to streaming. Again, it's not it's Jason Momoa. No, it's just like that. I hope they tone down the broiness, I guess you could say, of Jason Momoa, but that's what
That's his thing.
he's kind of known for. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's kind of
Jason,
known for.
James Wan did say in this it's kind of a more mature story than the first one, so maybe they will tone down a little bit of the Jason Momoa isms. But like you said, it is kind of part of his charm, so I don't think they'll tone it down too much if they do at all.
I thought visually, like, that first movie was really good.
Oh yeah, easily. It looks incredible.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm all right until we get a little bit more.
And kind of as the same as Aquaman was what they showed for Shazam, Fury of the Gods, or Gods, not Guards, where it was just all behind the scene footage, talking to the cast, directors, and all that, and just giving us a look at some concept art that more so than Aquaman that I can't wait to see in live action, because they're really going into the Greek mythology here with these mythical creatures that it looks like the Shazam family is going to be going up against, and we got to look at the two main villains. I'm blanking on their character names, but Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are playing I think the gods who are going to show their fury to the Shazam family here. And shows how lacking I am in Greek mythology knowledge. I can't remember the name right now, but I do like that they're going to go deep into the more mythological side of the Shazam story, and the different locations that they're going to be going to seems cool, more so than just going to the Rock of Eternity in the first movie. Like I said, they're just really going to go to dive into the lore of Shazam and kind of this Greek mythology aspects of it. So that looks cool. The one thing you notice right away is that if they want to make a series or trilogy of films, they got to start filming quick, because the young actors in the last one, especially the young actor, I think Angel Asher is his name, who played Billy Batson, like he's already a full-blown teenager now, and it's not going to have the same effect as seeing a young kid transform into an adult as Shazam as a character is known for. So they're losing a little bit of that already, but it should still be great because the cast was great in the first one. I'm looking forward to seeing all of them again in this one. And I will be curious if there's going to be some ties to Black Adam, because I really hope there is. I just think it'll be a shame if these two characters who are so connected and are from the same, mythos as far as the powers of Shazam go, that they never confront and meet each other, because it just seems like two vastly different movies when you look at what we're seeing so far, Black Adam, and what we've seen in the first Shazam and what we're seeing in the second one. So I just hope at some point they do come together, whether it's a tease in an after credit scene in Black Adam or Shazam, because I just think it'd be a real shame if we don't get that, because we got to see Shazam against Black Adam. It's like his Joker almost. So it has to happen at some point. So we'll see. I was just hoping for a little bit of some teases from the directors from either both movies, kind of teasing maybe a potential meeting between the two. So we didn't get that, but again, we're still in the early stages of getting reveals about this movie. So if it is something that's down the pipeline, I'm sure that'll be revealed in its due time. But yeah, Shazam's looking good, more continuing off, I think, what worked so well in the first one. So looking forward to seeing actual footage once we get a trailer at some point.
What would be funny if like the two movies weren't connected, right? Shazam and Black Adam, but they were connected to two other separate movies. Like say like Shazam is connected somehow to this new Batman movie, and then
The Matt
Black
Reeves.
Adam is Black Adam is connected to like Wonder Woman 1984.
Given Warner Brothers' track record and how they handle all this, it wouldn't surprise me if something ridiculous like that happens. They didn't mention by name, but they did reference Black Adam as far as being the one to kind of abuse the power of Shazam. So there is precedence in the first Shazam movie that Black Adam exists. I just hope they expand on it now that we actually have an actor playing Black Adam and his own movie. So that's connected to at some point.
Okay, so here's what they're gonna do, Jeff. So Shazam connected to Batman, Black Adam connected to Wonder Woman 1984, right?
Okay.
But then you have this Flash movie, right, coming up. So the Batman and Shazam are one universe, and Black Adam and Wonder Woman 1984 are a separate universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Flash movie connects both of them together.
I'm not ruling that out. I think that movie's going to do something to that effect, except probably not the Batman being in the mix, but there's going to be some.
See, so it works.
Yeah.
It works then.
Yeah, just get ready for some amalgamation of connectivity of the different universes. Maybe you didn't think we're connected at first, and now we'll be once Flashpoint is all said and done.
And I hope that they just do something simple to connect all these movies, right?
Yeah.
It's not like there's like 15 other movies that connect to one movie, but that one movie connects to the 17th movie, right? But the 17th movie doesn't connect directly to that first movie,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I hope it's just like, okay, so here's what happened, right? So Flash went back into the parallel universes and grabbed everybody, and now we're all in one universe. There we go.
Yeah, I think that's the goal they're trying to work for. Just make it as simple as possible so the audience can grasp that
Yeah.
There's just one. Well, see, I don't think that's going to work because we got the Batman still coming. That's its own separate thing. But at least with the movies that
Right.
came before, it's going to change things to set up where maybe you can bring in different versions of a character. Like, let's say Henry Cavill's not coming back as Superman again, but the universe merges into one where it's a different Superman or something like that. But you still got the Ezra Miller Flash and the Jason Momoa Aquaman and the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, but yet we might have a different Superman and Batman. So I think in that way is probably what it's going to be. But it all depends on how well they pull it off with Flashpoint. But which leads us nicely into the look at Flashpoint that we got. And I was honestly hoping for a little more because this has been filming the longest, I think, out of all the new movies shown. But it's just funny. Ezra Miller said we don't have a teaser for you. We don't, but we do have this. But it's pretty much a teaser trailer what we got. Sometimes I think Ezra Miller tries to be too funny, and he realizes where it's not.
It doesn't come off that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But boy, this trailer, man, as short as it was, I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to affect me the way it did, but the stuff with Michael Keaton and Batman, that it literally gave me chills. I mean, I was obviously excited it's coming back and I couldn't wait to see it, but I wasn't expecting to get those chill moments that I got while watching it because I loved obviously Batman 89. It's such an important movie to me in my Batman fandom and just some comic book movies. But I have said before where the Dark Knight trilogy, Christian Bale, he's my favorite live action version of Batman. And so he kind of took over as far as being, if we ever got a Christian Bale return, and how that would I would expect to have those goosebumps moments. But I got him with Michael Keaton coming back for this. Just hearing his voice in the narration and then seeing the images that we got of Wayne Manor. We see the cowl on the floor and his costume kind of just all thrown on the floor, almost like he was in a battle or he's given up type scenario. We don't know for sure. It's funny. A lot of people thought that was Ben Affleck's cowl and were getting upset, saying, "Oh, so this is how they're treating Ben Affleck in this movie. They just throw his cowl and disrespect it on the floor." But if you look closely, you can see it's definitely Michael Keaton's suit. But boy, once we got that image of the silhouette of, we see the Batcave, we see the back of Michael Keaton's Batman costume and his cowl. Man, I just like, it was almost a surreal experience seeing him back again. And we still haven't fully seen it. We haven't seen a full front shot of him in the costume. I just can't imagine what that's going to be. And then when we get to the end with a car that's wrapped under a tarp, and even though they don't show it, just the shape of it and the design, you know exactly what's under that tarp. And even though it faded to black as soon as Barry unwrapped the tarp, that was just awesome. A great way to end that teaser with a tease of knowing that the greatest Batmobile ever is making a comeback in this movie, as we were expecting, but the fact that it's definitely in it is like, so good. I cannot wait to see more from this. This was just the perfect tease to get you just excited enough for the return of Michael Keaton back as Batman, just the whole Batman 89 universe, to see that on screen again. It's just going to be, I think, something special when it's all said and done, and just incorporating his Batman and kind of into the role that the Thomas Wayne Batman played in Flashpoint. I'm sure there's definitely going to be differences without question, but I just think it's a pretty cool and different way to go about it for a Flashpoint movie while still having a Batman character kind of being the mentor to help Barry get through all this and screwing up the timeline and whatnot. So all the Batman stuff was amazing. And just, like I said, gave me chills. It was just surreal to see and have Michael Keaton back as Batman again, and just hearing his voice and getting those little glimpses of him in the costume. And then just real quick, the stuff with the Flash. One thing I was surprised about, maybe it was revealed or leaked out and I just didn't notice it, but how there's going to be multiple Barrys in this movie. How we kind of got the one with longer hair, and the director released a teaser image of the Flash suit, kind of, or a Batman suit spray painted red with the Flash logo on that, and it kind of looks like that's what one of the costumes one of the Barrys is going to be wearing. And then the main Barry that we've seen from Justice League he has a new costume too, which looks pretty cool. And it has kind of going for that new 52 effect where there are like the lightning streaks glowing in the costume. It's like pretty neat. Now we just got one quick shot of Supergirl with both Barrys, as I assume they're looking at Bruce, and Barry just goes, "Are you in?" And that's it. But I really liked what I'm seeing from this. Just again, throwing all the stuff with Michael Keaton returning back as Batman is just obviously going to be the main selling point of the movie, and rightfully so. But it's just going to be so cool to see him back and just how it all connects with doing this Flashpoint story for a movie. And like you mentioned earlier, just how I think it's going to change things moving forward for the DC movie universe. So we'll see how it all ends up once we see it next year. But man, it did the perfect job of getting me and I know a lot of other people excited for it, and just cannot wait to see. I guess according to Ezra Miller, once we get a real teaser trailer for it, even though this counts as a teaser, but I loved it. I thought it was a great first look at the movie.
Yeah, I had no idea that there was going to be a multi. I don't know what you call it, a multi-Barryverse. There's going to be a bunch of different Barrys.
And I wouldn't be
and like
surprised if we see Grant Gustin from the Flash TV show in a cameo, because we know they met each other in the Crisis on Infinite Earths TV crossover a couple of years ago. So there is precedent.
And like you said, I mean, just the Michael Keaton thing, that's all you really have to do is just hint at him.
Yeah.
At his 1989 Batman. And of course, that vehicle under that big sheet or that big cover thing, I mean, it's clearly, Tim, it is clearly the Tumbler, the greatest Batmobile ever, right? It looked exactly like it. So that's what has me the most excited, is seeing the Tumbler in this new Batman.
You know what? Michael Keaton's Batman driving the Tumbler would be a sight to behold. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, look, it's either the Tumbler or it's George Clooney's Batmobile.
Oh god!
From Batman and Robin.
Can you imagine?
It has to be Tim.
Can you imagine that being the ultimate troll job? We're expecting the '89 Batmobile. He pulls it off, and it's the Clooney Batmobile or the Batman Forever one.
Yeah, but I bet you right now, Tim, there's going to be a joke in the Flash movie where he goes back too far, and it's going to be Adam West. It's going to be the Adam West Batman.
You know what? If he was still alive, I think they definitely would do something where he would be in it.
Well, they're just going to target him, right?
I wonder if they really want to do that. I wonder if they would consider that, or if they would just maybe use some old footage of an episode or something and just have Barry appear there real quick. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's like there's going to be some kind of joke. I just know it, that he's going to go back too far, and it's going to be like, no, not this Batman, and then or something, and then he's going to go get Michael Keaton or whatever.
We could always bring Burt Ward back to have that, because he, again, going back to the Crisis on Infinite Earths special, Burt Ward was in that too, hinting at they showed the 66 universe as well. So
yeah, but yeah, I bet you right now on October 23rd, 2021. So when this movie comes out in 2029.
God, you saw actual footage from it now. You got to believe that it's happening.
Well, productions can get delayed for an extended period of time. I bet you, Tim. I bet you something that there's going to be a joke where it's like he's going to go back, and then there's going to be Adam West Batman. I bet you.
I think I wouldn't rule it out as far as some type of nod. Maybe we won't see Adam West, but maybe we'll see something of that universe that will make us know, okay, that's the Adam West universe.
Yeah, something for maybe like how they did the Michael Keaton thing in this teaser trailer, quote unquote, where it's like you just see him from behind. It's like, oh no, not that Batman, and then goes forward and whatever.
Or see like a silhouette of a Batman dancing, doing the famous.
Yeah. Or you see a Batman running around with a bomb.
Yeah, something like that. That'd actually be a nice nod. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there's more surprises in store for us for the Flash movie. So it's still just being called the Flash. I don't even think it's going to be called Flashpoint, but we all know what story they're adapting. So, but yeah, I cannot wait to see more. And before we get into the Batman, there's one more Batman piece of the one Batman segment that I have to mention. And we didn't get any footage, but we did get, and I was hoping for this, and I wasn't sure if it was going to happen at FanDome, but we did get a little bit more on Batman, the Caped Crusader, where we got to hear from J.J. Abrams, Bruce Timm, Matt Reeves, and joining the crew, that who wasn't first announced, but I'm glad he's involved with this, is James Tucker. So you got 4 brilliant minds working on this Batman show, and boy, did I love everything I heard that they were talking about from this, especially what Bruce Timm was saying and how it's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series was, if that makes sense. But I totally knew what he was talking about because it's pretty much Batman the Animated Series, but not kind of being held back where they can do what they want, maybe for some mature storytelling that some stuff they couldn't do for the animated series. Not to say that it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be anyway, like an R-rated DC animated movie that we're getting. It's just maybe certain more mature thematic elements that Batman the Animated Series couldn't have. And that just has me excited. The fact that Bruce Timm is kind of being able to do what he'd always wanted to do with the animated series, it's just going to be great. And the idea that they stress to how it is going to be capturing that noir style, art style that they showed in that poster, which I absolutely loved. And then also, I believe it was James Tucker who was saying how it is going to look and kind of invoke that short that was released that Bruce Timm did for one of the anniversary specials, Batman Savage, where it was kind of a black and white, that 40s style, noir style look of Batman that I just loved. And I love the art style of that short that we got. And the fact that we're going to be continuing that is going to be awesome. So I just love everything that I'm hearing, even though we haven't seen a glimpse of footage from it. Just the way how Bruce Timm's describing it as, doing what he always wanted to do with Batman the Animated Series, the look of it being that classic style. And then Matt Reeves kind of shared some insight how it is going to be a Batman where there are no other superheroes. It's no Justice League. It's just, again, like how Batman the Animated Series was when it started, just Batman on his own. And then James Tucker also brought out how there's obviously going to be new takes on characters, but how even some of the allies Batman has, you're not sure if it's going to be the same type of relationship, because it is going to be Batman starting out kind of forming these relationships like with Commissioner Gordon that you don't know might not end up where we expect it to, where maybe they'll be kind of at odds for a bit before they become allies, or maybe they won't become allies. So different dynamics like that, how they're setting up to see classic characters be interpreted in different ways, kind of similar to how they did in the animated series too. So yeah, everything I've heard about this just gets me so excited. I said this when it was first announced, Al, this is probably my most anticipated Batman project after the Batman now. So it's just, I cannot wait to see footage from this. I think it's going to be awesome. And they did say that it will be airing on Cartoon Network and HBO Max. So, which is good. I'm glad it's going to be going on HBO Max as an option to stream right away. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I just cannot wait to see it and find out when it's going to come on, because I need it ASAP.
And I can't wait to ask you, which one do you like better, Batman the Animated Series or this new series?
Dude,
when all is said and done.
If they're able to somehow top Batman the Animated Series, I mean, hats off to all of them. But again, with everyone involved, it's not impossible. So we will see. But that's a tall order to ask it to be better than Batman the Animated Series. But you never know.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to make you feel uncomfortable, Tim.
I got to correct myself. That short I was talking about, I think I call it Batman Savage. It's Batman Strange Days is the correct name for that. So if you're looking to kind of see what type of art style this is going to look like, definitely check it out. It looks really cool. Batman Strange Days. So yeah, that was the little bit of tease we got for Batman Caped Crusader, which I was so glad we got. But now we can go into the main event, which closed out DC FanDome, which we all knew it would. I mean, you got to save the best for last, which was the trailer for The Batman, the new look that we got just a little bit over a year from we got that first look last year. And before diving into the trailer, just to talk a little bit, because they had a little behind the scenes sizzle reel, and you had Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, and Zoe Kravitz talking about the movie and their roles. And one thing that's standing out to me that Matt Reeves has been talking about, which I don't think is quite accurate, but he keeps saying how it's a type of Batman we've never seen before, how they're grounding it more into a realistic type setting. It's more grounded. And I think every time he says, I'm like, well, technically we already got that with the Nolan trilogy. And so when I hear that, it doesn't necessarily get me excited, but at the same time, all that part of me that's thinking that goes away right when I saw this footage because it looks. I mean, you could take a few shots I think in this new trailer that reminds you of a moment or two from the Dark Knight trilogy, but on its own, it's looking like a Batman movie like nothing else, and it does have its own unique feel, and it probably is going to be more grounded than even the Nolan movies were. So we'll see, but just hearing that type of phrasing, it's I just don't necessarily agree that it is something that we've never seen before, totally. But again, that's just basing off what he says. When we see the movie, it could be totally right. And I think with the trailer that we got, the first two, it is definitely going to be its own thing in a Batman we've never seen before. It's just hearing those words that kind of make me think, I'm not sure if that's quite accurate, but kind of all that goes out the window when you see the actual footage. But
Well, Tim, every single iteration of Batman is a Batman we've never seen before, right?
mm,
I mean, they say that every single time, right?
yeah,
There's
it's
a
just
new
when he
Batman. And
when he
then,
calls it like when he's talking about grounding it. That's kind of the phrase that
yeah,
mainly stands out to me as far as like we've kind of seen that already,
yeah, yeah, you're right.
but not like this, not like the movie he's making. And right off the bat, I'm just going to go ahead and say that first trailer we got last year was, I think, special. It's an amazing trailer. The way it revealed Batman, you throw in using something in the way by Nirvana to be like the music theme for it, and I'm glad that continued for this trailer. I just love that they're using that Nirvana song to kind of be the theme for this movie. But that trailer was just, I think, perfect. It was a perfect first look at this new Batman that we're gonna get. And I will say that I don't think this trailer was quite as great as that one. I love the trailer, don't get me wrong, but again, I just think there's this something special about that being the first look at this Batman and just doing such a great job of doing that. Just didn't quite reach that top. It's just right below it. It's a little neck and neck, but the first one I just think is a little bit of a better trailer overall. But boy, am I loving what I've seen in this movie so far, and just how it's capturing this style that Matt Reed does describe in when he talks about it. But like I said, being nothing like the Nolan movies. I shouldn't say nothing. There's like one or two shots I'll talk about what that reminded me of something from the Dark Knight trilogy. But just like the color like palette of it that we get in some of those sunset shots or the sun rising, it just looks amazing. It looks beautiful. And some of how Matt Reeves is filming this and the cinematography that's being done for it. But just how it starts getting our definitely first look at the Riddler, where he's being captured by the police, and we get that question mark logo in his latte. I think that's a clever way to do that. That's something we haven't seen before in a Batman movie. But it does raise the question. This is one of the things where talk about similarities to the Nolan movies. Is Riddler getting himself caught on purpose, just like Joker did in The Dark Knight? And kind of that is a trope in comic book movies or villain plot stuff that we've seen recently ever since The Dark Knight. So, but I trust that Matt Reeves is going to do something different where you're not immediately thinking that it's just doing what The Dark Knight did already, just with different characters. But it is setting the tone as far as Riddler, just being someone that Batman can't seem to figure out just yet, because we get that moment too where they're having that confrontation where Riddler is in a jail cell. It's not in an interrogation room like in The Dark Knight. It's in one of those sections where they look at each other, divided by that glass, and Batman just yells at him like, "What have you done?" Where Riddler just has the upper hand on him on whatever he's planning. So I did like all the Riddler stuff that was being sprinkled out throughout the trailer, and how it kind of kickstarted what this the footage that we were seeing in this trailer. So just right off the bat, I know it kind of rambled on there because I didn't know where to begin, so I thought I'd just start with some of the first few shots. But what were your overall impressions of the trailer? I should probably start asking you with that first.
Well, first I have a question for you. Is that theme at the end the Batman theme?
That is the Batman theme, yes.
That's what you were talking about last episode. Where okay,
Yeah, and it's amazing. I love it already.
I think I know why you like it, Tim. Because it sounds like the Imperial March.
It does have that feel to it. I've
Dun,
noticed that the first
dun,
tease they had it.
dun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Imperial
yeah,
March with the Batman kick to it. I love it.
yeah, yeah. Of course, I loved it. I really, really liked it. It took me like 3 or 4 viewings of it to figure out what Robert Pattinson was yelling at Riddler
Yeah,
in the jail cell. It's like, wait, what is it? What did he say?
yeah. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, like we're gonna figure it out. Um, one aspect that I don't see people talking about is, I mean, I haven't really watched these videos. Like it's been popping up on my YouTube, like our reaction or 15 things you missed about the Batman trailer.
uh,
But one aspect I like about it is that Riddler is a serial killer.
mhm.
Uh, like there's that one thing where it says serial killer live streams, um, and I don't know. I just really like that aspect, something different. It sort of gave me vibes of James Gordon, but and especially like the way that it looks like Paul Dano's gonna look in
Uh-huh.
in this movie with the glasses and that weird haircut.
Yeah. That's it. You know what? I never really thought about that. That's kind of a good comparison, though. James Gordon Jr.
Yeah,
Just character kind of forgot about, really, but
yeah,
because he wasn't nearly used as brilliantly as Scott Snyder did in that Black Mirror arc. But if they use some aspects of that could be really interesting to see play out on screen too. So it's a good call on that because I really wasn't thinking about it. But now that you mention it,
yeah,
that makes total sense.
yeah. And I'm kind of just wondering, like, okay, so we have Riddler, and it seems like Riddler and Penguin are going to be. And again, I keep on forgetting to I it totally slips my mind every single time that we see anything with the Batman that Colin Farrell is in this movie. It doesn't look anything like him. But then
No.
I was looking at a comparison between all of the different penguins that we've had, right? And I was looking at the Danny DeVito one, and it looks nothing like Danny DeVito in
No.
Batman Returns. So same thing with the Batman. It's like it does not look like Colin Farrell at all. um, but yeah, so what I was gonna say was, okay, so it seems like Penguin and Riddler have something going on, right? I'm just wondering how Catwoman slash Selena Kyle plays into all of this. Like, what is she? Is she like a wild card?
Mm.
Um, is she gonna be like that one that one person that can go to the places where Batman can't?
Mm.
That like, how did she figure into all of this?
Yeah. And just go real quick, going back to the Riddler Penguin stuff. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be connected as far as they're working together, like the typical villain team up trope. I think Riddler somehow, whatever the people Riddler's killing is going to affect Oswald Cobblepot and his dealings as a criminal, probably that makes him want to take down the Riddler too somehow, or maybe use the Riddler to his advantage in some way. Because I just have a feeling all three of the villains. I don't know. I'm not really going to call Selena Kyle a villain just yet in this movie because it doesn't look like it. But I just think that all three are going to have their own agenda, and it's not going to be that typical supervillain team up to defeat Batman type of thing. Because I think we moved past that trope, and sadly, not all movies have moved past that trope. So, but I don't. I think this movie's not going to fall into that. But and you're right about Selena Kyle and Catwoman. We got a lot of great looks as far as I'm concerned, as far as about the relationship we're going to get between Batman and Catwoman in this movie. How I think it's going to be a pretty important one. And right away, I just think what we're seeing from Zoe Kravitz and Robert Pattinson as Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne in their scenes that we saw in this trailer, I think they're really capturing that great Batman Catwoman dynamic that we all know and love from various stories of just how Batman wants to trust Catwoman, but reluctantly probably can't, and how Catwoman tries to seduce him and get him to maybe help her in whatever she's trying to do. That's probably illegal and something Batman doesn't want to be a part of. So all that stuff we know from the Batman Catwoman relationship that we've seen before, but I think is being done beautifully just in these quick shots we've seen of Robert Pattinson as Batman and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. And I like her costume that we've seen some of those high-rise shots where we see the sun in the sunset, where she doesn't have like a Catwoman cowl or mask on, but kind of just her bodysuit that she's wearing there. It just looks straight out of the pages of the comics from the Catwoman costumes that she's worn in the past. And so we've seen different looks because we also got in the first trailer kind of almost like that ski mask look of the Catwoman design that we've seen before, but a little more simplistic, I guess, for this style. So we'll see if she gets various costumes because I would love to see that helmet or mask she wore in the first trailer with that leather suit we're kind of seeing her in this trailer, because I think it's a great Catwoman look that we haven't seen yet in a live action Batman movie. And yeah, I just can't wait to see more of the Bruce and Selena dynamic in this, because there's that other shot too where, just talking about Batman in this trailer, how we are going to see a more kind of unhinged, violent Batman that I think we've ever seen, even more so in the Nolan movies and as Ben Affleck's Batman, because he just goes off. And even Robert Pattinson kind of describes it as Bruce Wayne and Batman, like he doesn't separate the two just yet. He's kind of just on this mission for vengeance, and he looks like he is going to go a little too far in some certain instances. We get that moment where he's taking out those thugs with the clown mask, and he uses kind of electroshocker on one of them, which looked pretty brutal.
Is that what he does? Is that what he does in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't really figure it out. Like what's that noise? And then like it just cuts away, right?
Yeah, I mean, imagine if it's the same guy he beat down in that first trailer, and then for good measure, he just electroshocks him too. And then there's that.
Another cool thing is like, and this has nothing to do with like story or anything, but like, Batman just getting shot,
yeah,
just like eating it. There's that one shot where he gets shot once, and then there's that scene in that dark tunnel where he's just getting lit up by the machine guns. Yeah,
and having no effect on him.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
See, it looks cool, but I'm kind of hoping too it's at the same point, because we know it was like his second year as Batman, and he just has this tech and protection where he can withstand those bullets and just go after those who are shooting at him. But I hope maybe at some point, as he gets older and more experienced, he moves away from that and kind of be that kind of creature in the shadows who is like so fast and you don't even see him coming that you can even get a shot at him, where he takes you out before you even have the chance to shoot him. Just kind of like how the Christian Bale Batman was. But if not, it's not a deal breaker or anything, because you're right. It did look cool to seeing him going through those bullets that are just plowing on him and having no effect, and just seeing him take down those enemies. And that was another shot where probably the main one that reminded me of a shot from The Dark Knight Rises, where he's going through that tunnel and the lights flashing and he takes out those enemies there. But this one looked definitely more brutal, but it just had a little bit of that feel. And that's kind of one of those instances where I was talking about earlier, where as different and unique as this Batman movie looks, that was one instance where I thought that reminded me of a moment from the Dark Knight trilogy, but still done in a different way, where he's just getting shot nonstop, but still taking down his enemies. So it is different enough, but it did make me think about that. But then there's that other moment where you see him just beating down someone like really bad. And I'm wondering if that is Riddler. And then you just see Selena Kyle just looking at him in shock, like, I can't believe you're doing this and you're just being this brutal. And I wonder if she's even going to attempt to stop him. It doesn't look like it. She just looks kind of like startled that she doesn't want to do anything to upset Batman even further. So I'm sure that's probably going to be a climactic moment there between all these characters, and kind of doing more for their relationships as far as if they're going to trust each other moving forward or not. So yeah, I just love what I'm seeing from Robert Pattinson as Batman and Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle. Just pretty much everyone is looking great in their roles. They really are. And even though Paul Dano was Riddler, we kind of saw the least of, just like the presence, you can feel his presence throughout the trailer and just how mysterious and sinister he's going to be in this movie. You just can't wait to see Batman go up against him. So all that looks great. And Dane, we finally got our first look at Andy Serkis as Alfred. And he looks great as Alfred as well.
He's hurt, like something happened to him in that in previous scenes, I guess you could say. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, it's like which one in particular talking about? This
His eye, like above his left eye.
Oh, okay,
Like,
yeah.
he got like beat up or something.
Yeah, I thought you meant you kind of see that happen in the trailers. Like I don't remember seeing anything
Oh
like that
no,
with Alfred,
no,
but
yeah, you just see it on his face. Yeah,
yeah, but I mean, not just with Alfred, but there's a lot of this movie that is reminding me of Batman Earth One, the comics or the graphic novels from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank that I absolutely love, and I think Alfred more so looks to be taken from that one because that was an Alfred who's kind of battle scarred and has the beard like this Andy Serkis Alfred has. So it's just even how Robert Pattinson is going about being Batman reminds me of the Batman in that story too. So, which I'm not going to complain about because, like I said, I love those stories, and that took place pretty early on in Batman's career too. And this movie's going to be doing the same. So, if it takes inspiration from that with these characters, I'm all for it because I loved how different those stories were, but still had the essence of what we love about Batman and Bruce Wayne and Alfred in that as well. So yeah, just this trailer was awesome. It just giving us more of how I think a great new Batman movie this is going to be. A lot of beautiful shots. There's another shot I really like where it's just Batman looking up at something in the sky and he's just all dirty. His costume is just filthy. You can just tell like he had a night to say the least. It looks like in that moment. But I just love that look that Batman has there. Yeah, just so much love about this trailer. It ended cool too with Batman having that chase in the Batmobile with Penguin, and Penguin thinks he got Batman, and then he's surprised to see the Batmobile burst out of the flames and then knock his car over, and just that awesome shot of Batman. The camera's inverted upside down. You see Batman walking towards Penguin with the fire behind him, and it transitions into the logo, and you hear the I'm already calling it new iconic Batman music theme. It's just awesome. So yeah, this trailer was incredible. A great second look at this movie. Even though I felt it wasn't quite as special as that first one, it's hard not to love this one as well. And like I said, just a great continuation of what we can expect to see from this movie. So yeah, March 4th, it's not too far away now. It's going to be great when that happens, or where we get to that moment where we can actually see the movie. I just got to try not to think about how we should have seen it already by now if it wasn't delayed because it was supposed to come out in October 2021. But it's still not too far away. March will be here before you know it. So yeah, what a great way to close out DC FanDome, and just what a great new look we got of this new Batman movie coming from Matt Reeves.
I'm just wondering whether. No, it's really weird that they're not showing Paul Dano. You know, I mean, we see
Yeah.
him in that first trailer in the mask doing I don't know, like taping somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, we see him briefly wearing that goggle mask and that live stream thing, and then you see him at the diner, right? And
Yeah,
then I'm
from the
just
back.
wondering why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why they're not showing his face and why he's not, being promoted like Penguin and Catwoman. I mean, we've pretty much seen everybody all the main actors in this movie now, besides Paul Dano, right?
Yeah. I'm sure that is gonna
So,
have to do something with the story and Riddler's plot.
yeah,
But I just like you said, I'm wondering why too, because they definitely made a point not to show his face. And even some of like the posters we got revealed before this, it was him in the taped up mask, and then they revealed 3 action figures of Batman, Catwoman, and Riddler, and he does have the mask on him as well. He's all in green, but you still don't see his face. So that is probably going to be something integral to the plot. But like you said, I'm just wondering how integral, just why that is. But I'm sure Matt Reeves has a good story explanation for it. I have no doubt of that.
yeah, we will see.
Yes, we will.
So
March 4th.
is that it, Tim? Did we cover everything for
I
the
think we
Batman?
covered all the big things from
Yeah.
DC FanDome. Yes, and it really didn't get much bigger than this. So just how cool it was to get, at least for me anyways, these 3 different Batman reveals with Michael Keaton and Flash, Batman the Cape Crusader animated series, and the Batman trailer. I mean, we're real spoiled now with a Batman fan. This is getting all these different versions, and who would have thought that in the movies we'll be seeing 3 different versions of Batman on screen in 2022 because you got Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck in the Flash movie, and we're getting Robert Pattinson, the Batman. So it's just a crazy time to be a fan of the character, and just again how spoiled we are with looks like to be great content that we're getting now and what's going to be coming in 2022. So just don't waste energy complaining too much. It's not worth it.
Tim, I didn't see the Robert Pattinson Batman train. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I didn't see Zoe Kravitz train. Sorry. So this movie sucks now.
Yeah, it had you for a little bit, Dane, but
Yeah. No,
couldn't quite hold you on.
I'm actually really excited for this Batman movie. I really am, especially with this trailer. Of course, the first one, and especially this trailer. Now that we get to see a little more of it. And another thing we forgot to mention is the Batmobile, the new Batmobile, or the new Bat car.
Yeah.
You could say it's not really a mobile. It's just a car that's reinforced or whatever.
But definitely looks to get the job done, that's for sure.
Yeah, I really like it. Just a simple design. It's just a car. So yeah, that's it for a feature topic, Tim.
Yep. What a great one it was, though. It was a fun Saturday last week.
Yeah. I guess we don't have any news, right? I guess we just did it.
Yeah, that was the news.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it, right? We don't have any reviews for this episode.
I do want to do a quick review of Titans season 3 because the season finale ended this last Thursday, and I did talk about when the first few episodes aired. I think it was the first 3. How it started off good, and then when it got to the 3rd episode, I felt it got really great with how it ended things with Red Hood, and how it's kind of focusing on Dick's point of view of Jason returning and how he's dealing with that. And I was excited about all that. And it's really disappointing for me to say that the rest of the season kind of went downhill after that. And it ended up being a pretty disappointing season for me after starting out so strong and just bringing in these great characters like Jason Todd as Red Hood. You got Barbara Gordon introduced this season, who I thought was good. But then this is what hurts so much. My favorite Batman villain, other than the Joker, is the Scarecrow. We've gotten great versions of the Scarecrow in live action, obviously in the Dark Knight trilogy. And I'll even say the Scarecrow we got in the Gotham TV show was great. He had some really cool designs. But boy, this Scarecrow we got in Titans shouldn't even been called Scarecrow. He was flat out awful. I could not stand him. This actor that got to play Jonathan Crane, I mean, I can't really blame the actor if this is how he was told to play the character, but he was not playing the Scarecrow. He was someone who was like, he didn't really come across as someone who was obsessed with fear. That wasn't like his main thing that he would use as a weapon tactic. I mean, he had his fear gas, but they used the thing that it takes away your fear. So they were taking that aspect from the Batman the Animated Series episode, Never Fear. But he was someone who had mommy issues, and he was just someone who was just felt more like a Riddler type in the 1966 Batman series, something to that, like more on the campy side. You see him dancing to TLC in the Batcave and singing. It was like what is this? What version of the Scarecrow am I seeing here? It wasn't good. And the way that they used him to use Jason as the Red Hood, it just didn't work for me. He was the one who brought Jason Todd back from the dead because apparently there was a Lazarus pit in Arkham Asylum that he knew about, and he used it to bring Jason back to further his plan, which his plan wasn't great anyway. And another problem I had with the season is just how the way things happen just seems so lazily written to me. There's moments where the police force or Scarecrow, I hate even call him Scarecrow. I'm going to call him Crane because not once did he wear the Scarecrow costume either. He wore half of the bottom part of his mask for like the season finale for like 2 minutes, which looked dumb. And they showed his mask because he got access to the Batcave, which is another thing that didn't really, I thought, made sense. So he was in the Batcave with his base of operations for the final few episodes, and he saw his mask that Batman had on display there. You'd think he'd wear it, but no, it was because of what was going on in his mind. He wanted to move past that or something, I think they said. I don't know. I can't remember. But it wasn't great, which is why I don't remember. But yeah, like the way things happen just seems so lazily written in the last half of the season, where Crane and Red Hood say that they say the Titans are the problem for what's going on in Gotham right now. The use of, like, everyone's using the Scarecrow, or the gangs are using Scarecrow's no fear toxin, and it's causing a crime spree and riots to go on in Gotham like none before, because all these criminals have no fear of committing these crimes. And Jason, the Red Hood, just says the Titans are to blame from this. It's Nightwing. And just by him saying that, Gotham City turns on the Titans and they go after him, and the Titans can't go out in public because they'll get attacked by normal people. It's like, really? You're just taking the word from this new costume character that showed up on the streets not too long ago as the Red Hood? You're just going to trust them that the Titans are evil? Okay. And then how they get access to the Batcave. And you would just think Bruce would have extra security measures to prevent anyone getting full access to the Batcave. Yes, I know Jason Todd, that's what Scarecrow used him for, to gain access to that. But I think Bruce would have had even more security measures that Jason Todd would even be able to break through to gain access to the Batcave. So that seemed lazily written. How Crane got access to pretty much the entire Gotham City police force. So by the time the last few episodes are running, it's the entire Gotham City Police Department was corrupt and bad, and they had to take him down. That seemed a little over far-fetched, and just a lot of things like that just seemed not fully explained and just lazily written to try to get from point A to point B. And it wasn't great. But I still like the portrayal of the characters. I think Brendan Dwight does such a great job as Dick and Nightwing. He's great. The actor plays Jason Todd did a really good job. He's had some great moments this season. I just didn't really like this version of Red Hood and how they brought him back, tied him into the Scarecrow, and not having a big enough time gap either of him being dead. He was dead and like back in just a couple of months. So you didn't really have that same effect of being shocked that Jason is back after a long period and doing what he's doing to prove a point to Bruce and the Bat family. That had nothing to do with it. It was all just upon a Scarecrow, and Red Hood works better when he's kind of doing his own thing. So yeah, it was just disappointing. But it started off really good. That's what makes it really disappointing for me as well. And you throw in the fact that my favorite Batman villain was used so wrongly. It was just throwing all that together makes for a disappointing season. So unfortunately, I'll probably have to give Titans 2 out of 5 awkward Scarecrow singing TLC dancing moments in the Batcave.
Oh my god, I have to watch this now. What episode is this?
Yeah.
What episode is he dancing to TLC or singing, whatever?
Yeah, let me check real quick, because obviously you have an HBO Max subscription, so you could just check it out. So it is actually like one of the first moments of the first moment of the episode. So you won't have to wait long to find it. It's got to be like, it's kind of towards the end of the season. I want to say like the 10th episode, something like that. I'm gonna check real quick. I might even recognize it by just looking at the name. I might have to click on it, but
so why? I mean, are they just trying too hard to like make him seem unhinged? Is that what that was?
Mentally not there, and obviously Scarecrow is not anyway. But this one is just, they try to make it came more from a campy place, I think.
I see. And like the whole mom issue thing.
Yeah.
It's like just trying a little too hard to make him like, oh, look how crazy I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so it's going to be, I think, episode 11 called "The Call Is Coming from Inside the House." Yep, I'm seeing him dance right now.
Okay. I am looking it up right now, Tim. This is very important. Oh, right here. It's on the front page. Okay. Season 3, episode 11.
Oh, perfect. 311.
311, right there, Tim. So you didn't get your name from the band.
I got it from the
You got
worst
it from
portrayal of
the-
Scarecrow put to screen. You're gonna have to skip through like the recaps and all that. But...
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
You should see him saving first.
Okay. He's shaving his beard.
Yeah, a big moment for him, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have the volume up on yours?
Oh.
Susan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Okay.
Have you seen him? Is he in the Batcave yet? Have you got to that part?
No, he is still shaving. And
Okay.
he's dancing through the house.
Looking at all of Bruce Wayne's ties too. Having a hard time
Ties,
selecting
yeah.
which ones.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Now are you in the Batcave?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He is singing to the song, isn't he?
Yeah, like lip syncing. Like,
Yeah.
Like not like, you know.
Yeah, you should be getting to the
Okay.
point where you see him look at the Scarecrow mask.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it
Yeah.
does look like a cool version of the Scarecrow mask, but that's it. He just looks at it, doesn't take it.
He doesn't
or
put it
wears it.
on?
Nope. It just looks like in the finale, he takes the bottom portion of it of the mask and puts that on for some reason that they don't say. But
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, I can see why that season went downhill for you.
yeah.
That's
He was a big part of it. That was not the Scarecrow. Like, I don't know who that villain was, but that wasn't Jonathan Crane.
well, I mean, I guess like he's crazy. I guess he's crazy, Tim.
Yeah, but Scarecrow's never
Oh.
been that type of crazy. There's different types of
Right,
crazy.
right. He was a scientist, right? He was a
Exactly,
a
yeah.
scientist that
It was
had
more of like an obsession
obsession
with fear. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's not like the Joker, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that was like a minute and a half that I didn't need to. That I'll never get back.
I think you
Right.
needed to experience it. You needed to feel my pain.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was not good. That was not good at all.
No.
Ah,
So, I'm sad. Sorry to end the episode on a bummer note, but
yeah. Yeah.
from the
well, at
from
least
from the amazing Batman trailer to Scarecrow singing and dancing to TLC's waterfalls in the Batcave. I mean, does it get more
Well,
drastic than
he's-
that?
I mean, the best part of that scene was that they used a good song.
Not when it's being sung
Um,
by Jonathan Crane, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer the TLC version rather than the John Crane trying too hard to be crazy thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for our episode. I believe, unless there's something else there.
Nope, I think that should do it. We made it through without my internet going down, so I'm happy about that at least too.
It's good. Just go over to BatmanUniverse.net, Facebook.com/BatmanUniverse, Twitter handles @BatmanUniverse. Tim's Twitter handle is @TimG311. I'll say it this time because you had to suffer through that TLC waterfalls dance sequence
On episode 311 for Titans.
on episode 311. My Twitter handle is @DaneSitsBanana. The show's Twitter handle is @BatFans Podcast. You can email the show at batfanswithoutpants@gmail.com and rate and review us on iTunes. So with that, like we say at the end of every single episode, Tim, I think I know what it's going to be.
Yeah. We love each and every one of you with all of our hearts, unlike how I absolutely hate Jonathan Crane dancing in the Batcave and singing to TLC's Waterfalls in Titan. season 3, episode 11. We love each and every one of you so much more than that.
Yeah, it's infinitely more than that. We'll see you guys next time.
See you next time, everybody.